Hey
Hi
Jamie, how
there.
are you?
Hi. Good morning. How you doing, Ian?
Yeah, I'm very good. Thank you very much for asking. Seeing you at Enigma on the Guilt and Grief, then the Death in Me tour, which yeah, you started the tour here and then COVID happened, so that stopped. The Bridgeway last year when a guy broke his leg in the crowd, right? That
Yes.
stopped. Right. To now headlining Froth and Fury in Adelaide. And it's your first headliner. How do you feel uh, how do you feel the whole journey's gone for you?
It feels like it's gone like in a blink of an eye, but and at the same time I'm like far out. We've been a band for 12, 13 years and we've come so far. We've done so much. To like as you said, as you were starting to say this to start your sentence, and I was like, shit, what was the very first place we played at? Enigma.
Yeah.
Like um to be at a level now of this band where even like a contender to be able to headline close out a festival is pretty remarkable. But also we're so ready to move into that. Over the years of us playing a lot more festivals and becoming a lot more accustomed to playing and putting on a festival set, playing these kind of crowds and shows.
Mhm.
I feel like we're more than ready to be able to put on a festival headline set, a closer for a festival. Very, very excited to be to be doing so.
You touched on there about the because you played Knotfest earlier on this year as well, and you've done good things in the past. And you've done obviously festivals in Europe and America, Download and such forth. How do you change your set for a festival compared to getting guys' legs broken at the Bridgeway?
I mean, one, we never want anyone to hurt themselves. Let's put that out there. But it does happen. It does happen. Um, I mean, I wouldn't say that we changed an approach. We've never really, you know, we just get up there and do our thing, and when it comes to festivals, we just get up there and we want to leave our mark on a festival. We want to make people remember us and to come back and see us again. Um, but in saying that, when you're playing to a festival crowd compared to like a tour, like a support show or a headliner or something, like you got when you're playing it to a normal, let's say normal show, with your support or your headlining, people are coming out to see those however many bands are on that show.
Mhm.
You're expecting for people to know who you are and to to somewhat know about your band. Whereas with festivals, you can never really, it's not always guaranteed that people are going to know who you guys are about. So I guess but we've always been a band that we encourage people to mosh, like to get people moving, very high energy, and that we've always been about that. So in terms of when it comes to a festival set, that is never really lacking. It's kind of like business as usual, but you've also putting on a show at a festival, like it's you know, okay, you're getting up there and wanting to do your thing, and you're wanting people to be singing along in that, and trying to engage them in that way. But you never know what you're going to get. You can have a couple of hundred, a couple of thousand people in front of you, and none of them know who you guys are. They're not singing a word to you guys, but they're there to check you out because they've heard of you for or the one of the, maybe a friend has told them about your band, or they've seen your music online and they've never had the opportunity to see you until that festival. So
Yeah.
but yeah, we just get up there, we do our thing, and try to put on the best version of ourselves to leave that impression to for people to come back and see us whenever we may tour again next, or put on a headline show or something.
Cool.
It's
Well,
it's an opportunity to win over new fans. At
yeah.
the end of the day, it really is.
The the festival itself, so Froth and Fury in this aspect. So you got Jesse in the band who has played Froth before with Wind Waker. How did your spot on the bill come around, and what do you actually know of the festival?
I'll be honest, I don't know too much about the festival.
We
That's
won't use that
no, no
then.
tea, no shade. But yeah, we got the offer a couple of months ago to got wind that we had the offer to play this thing. this the opportunity to play this festival. And you know, we're like I said before, like we're if we were to get, I mean, I don't think we would have been offered an opportunity like this a few years ago, but if we were to have been offered an opportunity like this a few years ago, we would have probably taken it very hastily and very like, oh, I don't know if this is the right move. But to be in a position for this to come around, like I know I'm repeating myself, but it's very much like a hell yeah, let's do it. Let's put on a memorable Polaris show. Let's take it by the horns, you know.
Nice.
Hopefully, the
Um,
first of many to come in years to come.
well, it's kind of funny you mentioned that. Like we bumped into each other on more than one occasion a few years ago, and I said to you, you'd just gone to America, I reckon, for the first time, and I said to you that one of my friends in Nashville was like, "It's like these guys are going to go gangbusters, right?" Let's fast forward a few years. You have been touring extensively overseas in America and in Europe. Are you are you amazed, or are you actually just quietly confident of not only Polaris's name and brand overseas, but also Australian metalcore, that you're kind of leading that, or certainly that front line of charge overseas?
Uh, I mean, it's an incredible position to be in, to be a part of that conversation and to be seen at as one of these bands. You know, carrying the Australian flag. You know, we definitely have been busy over the years. You know, we just once we started overseas touring and the offers, you know, came through as the years have gone on. It's just something that we've wanted to, you know, we've been. It's always been at least at back home. It's always been a very natural stepping stone. You know, each tour, each show gets bigger and better. And it's something that we've really tried to accomplish overseas as well, is to keep going back. You know, if you want to grow, you want to you want to build your band, you got to keep going back. You got to keep going back. Because that's the only way people are going to come out and to find out about you and to become a fan. In the early days, it's you know, it's I don't know really where I'm going with this. Sorry, it's. I feel like overseas has been as natural as kind of like the growth that we've had in here in Australia. It's definitely not to say that not to say that it's been more rewarding, but by any means, you know, like Australia is our home, and to be at the level that we are here in Australia, to play the shows that we're able to play as a headliner is mind-boggling to me still. But uh and to see our growth overseas in, like I said earlier on, you know, we've been a band for 12, 13 years, and you know that's a long time. It's over a decade,
Mm.
but it still feels like it's gone so quickly. And to have the fan base that we do around the world is pretty freaking awesome. I'm very grateful to our fans, to you know, who keep coming out. That we have very dedicated, loyal fans who keep coming out to see us, um, time and time again. And yeah, I feel like I'm rambling at the minute. So,
No,
but
that's
yeah,
okay. The more you talk, the less work I do, so it's
yeah.
fine. And you're a singer anyway, so um, I will throw for me, like you're the band that I've actually seen the most that's not a local band, as in an Adelaide band. And I did make maths the other day. It's actually 17 times, which is just
That you've
insane.
seen us.
Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate that. That's awesome.
So, yeah, in Brisbane, Melbourne, obviously in Adelaide, because I mean, obviously you hear quite a bit. And you're right. You're always put on. It's always packed. You always put on a great show. The crowds, ignoring last year at the Bridgeway, but even saying that, everybody was just so invested in what you do musically. So considering, and it kind of links in, considering how invested as fans we are in that aspect, from your aspect as a band going along that journey, very often fates have conspired against you. Things have happened, COVID being one of them, which is just like, it almost seems like anytime you try and do something, you get a punch in the face. How do
Mm.
you guys just keep getting up off the canvas and just keep going and going and going?
I mean, it's just in our DNA. You know, we've got that mentality of there is no end goal. We just want to take this as big and as far as we can. Like from day dot when we first, when I first come into the band and was, introduced to the guys and that, we all have that vision of just we just want to do this. We want to make this a thing, be a legit band. We want to take it as far as we can go. Um, you got to chase your dreams. You don't give up. Like COVID, as you mentioned, was definitely a big hit. Like we literally just released the Death of Me. We just toured it, and it was like the next weekend or two. I think it was like no more than 2 weeks, and that's when COVID. When all the lockdowns and restrictions started coming into effect. I remember like we finished the tour, then I think it was the following weekend was Libby, my stepdaughter's birthday, and we had like a birthday party for her in a park not too far away. And then it was that following Monday is when everything changed, and we had touring plans for the whole year, the next year, all laid out, everything, and yeah, boom, up in smoke. And then next minute, a year or so goes by, and as as time went on here in Australia, people, there was tours that came out, didn't happen because more restrictions, this, that, it was very much like, okay, well, we're just gonna keep trying until we can get this going again. And um the big thing for me, like as you're saying, it felt like roadblock after roadblock. Like with COVID, we just released our album and we're like, shit, we get to a year and a half later and we're like, people are already expecting new music. And we're like, we haven't even had a chance for
Yeah.
this record to see the light of day. Do people even care about it? And when when it started to ease in the world and we started to get back out there and we were seeing the one still online, we're like, well, let's see if we can get the longevity out. Let's see if we can actually get this record played in Europe and the UK and in America before we even think about doing anything with new music. And the longevity was clearly there with the record because the shows went fantastic. The want was still there, and we've gone back. We went back a few times to both countries, continents, whatever the hell you want to call it, before we even got to the next record. And it was a nice peace of mind, when we going back overseas and seeing the hype was still there on a record that we hadn't had a chance to play for a year and a half, you know. And then yeah, with fatalism and losing Ryan, that was another speed hump in our band's journey. May he rest in peace. And we nearly didn't release the record. We nearly put everything off, and you know, until we're at a stage of being able to continue or not. And we decided, no, fuck it, let's just keep going. Ryan wouldn't want us to stop. We don't want to stop, and we pushed forwards. And I think it's only made us stronger as people. We had ourselves to keep relying on us, to keep picking each other up. There's definitely been a lot of dark times since over the past 2 years. And we've taken our time to work on ourselves and do what we need to do. But you know it's easy to look back and go, oh, we could have done this, we should have done that, we should have done that, but we wouldn't be in the position we're at if we didn't do what we did.
Mm.
And I'm very grateful to be in the position that we're at, this level of bands that we're at, the status that we have, the fans that we have made along the way. Um, this roller coaster of a journey. I wouldn't change a thing of it. I wouldn't at all. I love that music is my job. Music has always been a very strong passion of mine. Um, to call this a job, I don't, it is a job at the end of the day, but it's I don't view it as such. It's my heart.
That's very well paid
It's
for.
what we love, and we just have this fire to just keep pushing this and keep taking it to everywhere around the world, and to keep, we just want to keep getting bigger and better, bigger and bigger, and showing the world what Polaris is. We've never really seen ourselves as like a leading pioneer in metalcore or in this genre by any means. We just write music that we think sounds sick. It's, it's and the rest of the world seems to like it too. So yeah.
Thank you for your candor there as well, by the way. Greatly appreciated. And I know, as you're saying about doing the music, I mean, as you know, the fans do love it, and we do go for it. One of the things that I did want to ask you about, like when we go and watch you live on stage, um, then obviously you got your vocal technique, which is extremely raw and guttural. Then at the same time, you don't particularly just stand there either. You're a little bit like a Tasmanian devil on Red Bull, like kind of going all over the show. So how do you prepare yourself for each show and recovery, knowing that you put physically everything in?
It's I mean, preparing wise, it hasn't really been until the past like year or so that I have actually been, well, like the past year really, where I've been properly kind of rehearsing. My rehearsal and preparing for a tour up until up until this year really has been in my car. I go for a drive and scream, sing in my car for an
Mhm.
hour, 2 hours where I can. And the physical part of it I mean, I've always been an active person, but I definitely haven't been hitting the gym or looking after my fitness in the past couple of years. It's something that I need to get back into on myself. But it, I've always, for me, like our shows, it's all, like there's so much raw emotion in what we do, and I always try to give it my all on stage. I don't want to just be up there half-assing it. And what we're singing about, there's a lot of weight behind it. There's a lot of emotion, a lot of truth, and I don't just want to be up there hollow singing a bunch of shit that doesn't mean anything to me. I get up there and I'm letting go of these emotions. I'm getting it's almost like a bit of a therapy session. um but it's quite a I like to leave it all out there, and it's something that it's why I love music so much, because before I was in Polaris, my old band, I used to play guitar. I've always loved music. I was always about the riffs, the breakdowns, and in my old band, I used to I'd be guitar spinning and headbanging like crazy and everything. And when I came into Polaris, I didn't have that anymore. It was my body. So, and I remember the first handful of shows that we ever were playing, I was just felt so awkward. I couldn't hide behind the instrument. I couldn't just, it was me. So I think in the early stages of Polaris, that kind of transitioned into me being a lot more being energetic, to feel not awkward on stage. Headbang like crazy, jump, stomp around, this that, because I've always done that, but with a guitar in my hands, and that's just the music. As soon as the intros press play and I hear that going in our ears, the music just takes over, and I just get out there, and it happens. You witness what you see from me and from us.
17 times, yeah.
Yeah, 17 times. Yeah, but
Um, I
yeah,
like to
it's just the music takes over. It's music, man. I live for it. I breathe it.
thank you.